During the events of Avengers Infinity War, Thanos was able to finally acquire not only all the Infinity Stones, but assemble them as a part of the Infinity Gauntlet in order to do the Snap, aka the Decimation event. And while he killed half of all life, he also paid a price with damage done not only to the Gauntlet, but himself as well. And according to director, or I guess co-director Joe Russo, the damage done to both the Gauntlet and Thanos was permanent, hinting at maybe a more limited not only Thanos, but a more limited Gauntlet with how it functions and I guess its capabilities when we see it appear again in Avengers Endgame. And this could also have been a reason that Thanos is now wearing armor and carries a sword for future battles, because he knows that maybe if he uses the Gauntlet too much more, it'll crack or something, or maybe it causes him pain or some other discomfort upon using it, because it looks like it might be fused to his hand now, which would be a very interesting development. But even besides that, if it is limited, I'm sure it still works obviously because he used it to leave Wakanda. Assuming that it's more limited in how its capabilities, I guess, extend, it's likely that he can only maybe use like 1 or 2 stones at a time, which for most of the Infinity War, he kind of did anyways. So I'm sure when fighting him, he'll still be extremely powerful, no doubt. This might require another gauntlet though to be made in order to undo the snap, as Thanos' original gauntlet, being permanently damaged the way it is, may not be able to do it even if Thanos wanted to with a change of heart. And the natural answer for this, obviously for the Avengers, is Tony Stark, considering his work with technology kind of being a natural thing for him. So I'm sure if you give him the tools of Wakanda and you give him basically anything else in the world with the motivation he now has, we saw what he was like before after the Battle of New York, making Ultron and all that stuff in preparation for an invasion of someone like Thanos. We saw how he is with that kind of thing. He was obsessive, he was crazy. While I find it interesting, the idea of Tony Stark making an Infinity Gauntlet, I find it actually really interesting for his character arc as well, because his arc really kind of started in Iron Man 1 during that moment where he said, the old Tony, the old Stark Industries, we're not doing that anymore, no weapons, none of that. And from there, we've really seen him kind of go out of his way to make things that are more of shields than they are of swords, like the Iron Man armors, Ultron. Yes, they may be considered weapons, they have offensive capabilities of course, but they were initially intended more so to be a shield, a protective element, than they were to be, you know, a weapon to kill people. So I would find it really interesting if now Tony Stark is making an Infinity Gauntlet with the sole intention, like he's making weapons again, with the sole intention, like knowing it's a weapon, because making an Infinity Gauntlet would be like his magnum opus with regards to like that's his, like if he's Kanye, that's his My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, if that makes sense. Like that's like the best thing he's ever gonna make probably. So I definitely find it really interesting to see like this be his last weapon, so to speak. His final weapon in the MCU would be a new Infinity Gauntlet, and who knows, maybe he'll design it to not only wield Infinity Stones. Obviously the other option is Eitri making another Infinity Gauntlet, considering we already saw that he has a mold for one. Does he have enough metal left for it? What metal did he actually even use for it? These are a lot of questions we still have to find out. But comment below your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think about this whole thing? I definitely think we're gonna see another Infinity Gauntlet one way or another. I just can't see how we won't. It just seems like everything's there for it. But comment below, and we'll see you guys later.